Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hey kids, I'm Mike.
I'm PJ.
And today on the podcast, we're going to talk about how much New Year's Eve sucks.
And boy, does it suck.
We're just cutting right to the chase, folks. All right, New Year's Eve blows, okay? And we're going to talk, we'll talk some little positives, but we're going to really talk about how much of it is such really a drag. And PJ, I'm looking, yes.
Worst holiday of the year.
Yep, least favorite. I think it's everyone's least favorite. Probably, I'm going to say, we'll get into it, the most stressful. But, folks, we're going to start off, as usual, with a childhood memory. And we're going to talk about some of our favorite New Year's, okay? Not all of them have been horrendous. But, PJ, would you want to start sharing some of your faves that you can think of?
I remember when I was a kid, real small, we used to go by my grandparents' house every New Year's Eve. And all my aunts and uncles and cousins and all would be there. And we would cram into what was not the biggest space. My grandmother wasn't in a mansion, right?
Right.
There were way too many of us for the size house that it was. But we all crammed in, and those were nice. Those were nice memories of New Year's, being with the family and seeing everybody. Yeah, that's I do. If I remember correctly, I think it was a New Year's Eve. I could be wrong, but I think it was New Year's Eve on the way home from my grandmother's house. We had gotten into a car accident. I was real small. Wound up getting like a black eye because of a drunk driver.
Whoa.
Yeah, I remember, because even from back then, that's, New Year's Eve has to have something bad happen. Yeah, but I remember that. That was a memory I have. Not necessarily a great one when the car accident as a kid, but yeah.
Right.
What's your first memory of New Year's Eve? I was a small child that got into a crash and broke my face. Yeah.
God.
Happy New Year.
I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to kind of ramble off a couple, PJ.
Okay.
So I remember 2004. That was a significant one because I was about 18, 19, and I went over to my friend's house, and this is look, guys, I'm not promoting underage drinking, but I was underage drinking, and at the time, I never was a crazy drinker. I never got I don't get beer muscles, none of that stuff. But all I brought was, folks, and at the time, my sister's boyfriend at the time. I said, I don't want to bring something to my friend's house. I'm like, I'm not going to bring a 6-pack. I just want something simple. And me being, I did not know anything, was very naive. He goes, I'm not recommending this drink, folks. So he says, if you take vodka, so I took Absolute Vodka, he goes, you put Tang in it. Remember Tang, PJ? It was like a monkey on it. It was some kind of orange drink.
It's like the fake orange juice.
Yeah, so I put that in that. And I basically, like I said, not being very, a novice at this, I basically filled up entire Gatorade bottle of vodka, not realizing I'm not diluting it. And I thought, like I said, me being very dumb, I thought putting Tang in it would dilute it. Obviously, very dumb.
Yeah.
And I got drunk. I got annihilated. I've never been that drunk in my entire life since then. I was incapacitated. They had to carry me out.
Wow.
I threw up my friend. I was so embarrassed. I actually brought, when I was able to recover, a couple of days later, I actually brought flowers over to her mom. I felt so embarrassed, and I didn't destroy anything. I just basically was dead. But I remember the next day, New Year's Day, I remember recovering from my house, and I remember that year I got for Christmas the neon lights you can get. I got the girl, the famous kind of stripper pose she late. So I got that in my room. And I remember I had that light on, just illuminating my room, just that kind of purplish glow. And my dad was I don't know what compelled me. He's listen to this song, and he gave me Steppenwolf, greatest hits. I remember listening to the Pusher, that song, goddamn, the Pusher Man. Maybe we could put a sound clip of it, but for a movie Easy Rider, kind of made it big. But I remember that. I remember that killed me in 2004, or was turning 2004. I remember 2006 my friends and I called it 2000 sex. We didn't have sex that night, but it was a lot of, I think all of us like made out with someone. So it was like a big victory for us. It must have been like 21 around there. And then a great one, but unfortunately the aftermath was not good in terms of the world, because my New Year's turning into 2020 was actually great. My friend Kim had a Roaring 20s party. Get the reference? Roaring.
Right.
But we all know what happened
Yeah,
a little after.
later, yeah.
A month later or so, with the world coming to an end. But PJ, I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if it was the year 2000, the Y2K, or it might have been like 2002 or turning into 2003, where we all slept over our friend Dan's house. You remember this?
Vaguely, yes.
So all I remember is we just couldn't. We were so wired. We never went to bed. And I remember, I think you brought over Grand Theft Auto 3, and I just remember playing Grand Theft Auto 3 till like 6 in the morning and going to sleep for like an hour. I remember we all went to bed around. We tried to go to bed around like 2:30. Like, all right, let's go to bed. And then we were just basically sitting there, laying down in silence. And then someone's like, "Yo, just put on Grand Theft Auto 3." And then that's what we did, man. But I love that game. I still do. It's one of my favorites, and I have that memory, bro. And I'm pretty sure you were there, man. I think you were there.
I had to have been, yeah. Oh man. But nowadays with New Year's Eve, I call it amateur hour.
Right.
I don't want to go out in public because you just don't know what nonsense is going to be happening out there. People are just driving drunk. They're just monsters out there, man. I don't know what's happening in the world. It's never been my favorite holiday, but I find like every year it gets worse.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, guys, and I don't know about you, PJ. I think when I think about New Year's Eve, I think about two words come to my mind automatically. That's the word stress and the word pressure. You know, I don't know if it's the same as an adult, but like, remember just being like, especially a teenager, and like when you're in your 20s, there's pressure. There's pressure to go to like the best party. There's pressure to do something. It's just, there's pressure to drink. There's pressure to party. There's pressure to find a girl. There's so much pressure, and with that pressure comes a lot of stress. And like you said, then you need a ride home, right? You need to someone needs to be double D, designated driver, right? Or you have to call a taxi. But calling a taxi is impossible on New Year's Eve. You know, I mean, now you have Uber. That was a different time, you know. But right. even now, I'm sure it's chaotic. You know.
Well, I don't know how you can go into the city. You couldn't give me enough money to get me anywhere near New York City on New Year's Eve. Look, I watched the show. I watched Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve, just like everybody else. And you put it on, and it looks miserable. No one's having a good time. These people are freezing. They're standing out there from like the day before so they can get a good spot to watch a stupid ball drop. They're not allowed to go to the bathroom, so they're just shitting themselves in the middle of Times Square because they don't want to lose their spot. They're wearing their stupid Planet Fitness hat because Planet Fitness sponsors it every year.
Right. They wear those goggles.
They wear the stupid goggles. And for what? For what? To watch a musical act that they're lip syncing and not good? Like, what are you doing? What is the fun in this? You couldn't pay me to go there. You couldn't.
I don't know. For folks maybe who don't live in New York, but New York City is great for the Christmas time. It's great. But like you said, PG, I would never, ever, you couldn't pay me to go to New Year's Eve in that they keep you in those corrals, those bullpens.
It's like your cows, your cattle.
Oh, like you said, look, this isn't the place to be hanging outside, not being able to go to the bathroom where it's cold, typically, super cold, crowded. You can't go to the bathroom. They have very weird, I don't know why they can't just have a porta potty, on site, but man, it is just, I have people who go, they have a good time. It seems like a one and done thing. I don't see people go it every year.
No,
I don't see.
If you go every year, you're probably clinically insane. I don't know. Because it can't be fun. None of it looks fun.
Mm-hmm. And where do you go? Okay, let's say you stay because my brother went to the city on New Year's Eve one time. He didn't go to the actual he went to a hotel
okay.
So he was able to see over a balcony in Times Square, which he said was pretty cool. But he says after the ball drops, he said about 20 minutes later, that entire thing is empty. There's only a confetti there.
Mhm.
But where do all those people go?
They're all
Do they go to the trains, PJ? Because the trains would be a nightmare. Could you
they're
imagine
all in Penn Station, and they're all waiting for the Babylon line. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what's happening. I don't know. And then to get home after that, if you are going home through the railroad, there's no way you're getting a seat on the train.
Oh, no way. You're staying up on that thing.
No, not
And you know there's someone there who drank too much who's about to pop.
Yep.
You know?
It's going to happen. Someone's vomiting, someone's shitting themselves. The train's going to stink.
Yeah.
You're going to have to change at Jamaica. It's going to be.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the worst.
You think I mean, for folks who don't live in our area, but like you have train. I'm not sure if they do this maybe other cities they have. I'm sure they have subways, but like we still have I mean subways in like a Long Island Railroad kind of thing. But like you have a conductor who clicks your ticket, you know, or now they scan your ticket depending what you have. But do you think, PJ, you get a free ride that night? You think there's a conductor going through that going?
It's got to be a free ride. There's no way they're getting through. There's no way. And you got to take a chance. Like, are you going to buy the train ticket and then just waste money?
Yeah.
Or you going to?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just wait and you're like, well, it's going to be cheaper if I get this 3 stops down the road. They don't know where I got on. So.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely there's no way they're getting through that mess. I've gone to like Islander games and they're like, fuck it, we're not checking tickets tonight. There's no way they're checking tickets after New Year's.
They have a thing now, like on your phone, where like when you get your ticket. Exactly. So like my brother told me, like you actually get on the train. He's like, don't activate it until that conductor comes.
Absolutely.
You know, because it's kind of sitting in your bank, you know.
Yeah.
And everything. But yeah, man, like you said, New York City, man, no way. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gone to New Year's Eve parties, and you go to like they do them in like wedding halls and shit.
Yes, I've been to those. Yeah.
Was in there. They're nice. Don't get me wrong. Like you get food, you get some drinks, you know, there's music or whatever. But I don't know. Like I don't see the fun in it. I'm not the biggest partier as it is.
Right.
And to just like, and then the other thing with New Year's Eve, I find when you go out, there's this expectation that you're going to be dressed up nicer.
Right. Yep.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm especially not doing that. It's freezing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm leaving my house in January in cold weather in our northeast climate, I'm wearing something warm, not something fancy.
Right. It's funny you say that because that's why I'm going back to like the pressure, you know, the pressure. And I think, you know, I don't know, PJ, I don't know about you when you're 20. Did you go like clubbing a lot or anything?
It's not my thing. I mean, I've been to them, but I've tried to avoid it as often as possible.
Right. So when I was in my 20s, you know, like going to New Year's Eve, you know, like I said, there's already enough pressure, but now, like you said, you have to get to a club. Now you have to, and they always rip you off. Where maybe 10 or $20 to get a New Year's Eve. I got a bar, man. They're gonna rip you off like $50, 75. Sometimes they have open bar, which is good, but ever just being crowded. But like you said, you feel like you have to dress up even more. So like instead of me wearing a black shirt, I would get an even darker black shirt. You know what I mean? Clean shaven, the whole thing. But PJ, I don't know about you if you felt this, even if maybe you went to house parties or whatever it was. I can say as a man, I'm not sure if women maybe our female listeners, they can maybe comment. But I remember just there being pressure just to like make out with a girl or kiss a girl with that ball drop. I just remember the amount of pressure. I remember my friends and I'd be sweating the whole. It was like literally like a countdown. I was like, I gotta find some shit, you know.
Find some rando in this party in this bar.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember just being stressed out. It wasn't even like I was trying to just like take advantage of nothing like that. It was just like looking for someone just to like, because I guess like the romantic part of you and also that part of you when you're like young, where there's like this thing where it's like it's New Year's Eve, you have to. It's like oh my God. It's setting the tone for the rest of the year if I don't find a girl or this night isn't amazing. You know what I mean? Like the whole rest of the year is going to be a bust. I just remember that the amount of pressure and it just puts so much like stress. I remember like New Year's, I'd be stressed out. I'd be like searching, you know, in a club or at a bar. I'm like, God damn it. And you're trying to like, you get there early sometimes around 9. So you have like, what's that, 3 hours, 2 hours, right? To find some girl. You build a rapport with some kind of connection where you can feel like, okay, let me seal the deal, you know, because after the ball drops, it's kind of like now you're getting everyone's getting sloppy. You know what I mean? And who knows? But I mean, there is a fun part to that too. Okay, don't get me wrong. There is a fun to doing that, but the negatives just outweigh it. It is just stressful, man. Just for me as a man, that was stressful. Especially
for me, it was slightly easier for me because we're 30. What are we? 38, right? So I've been married for 10 years, and we dated. Right. We dated for 8 years prior.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we've been together for a long ass time, so it was much easier to find the person that I was gonna be with.
Yeah.
Because we've just been together for that long. So that made it much easier for me. There was an episode of Friends about that because we've been rewatching Friends since Matthew Perry died.
Right.
And we got to an episode, I think it was like season 2 or 3, and it's all about that on New Year's Eve.
Right.
And they're trying to find the right party to go to. They're trying to find the right person to be with.
Right.
But it's funny. That's why that show is so timeless because it's still relatable today. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is just not a fun experience for anybody. I've never heard someone be like, "I had the best New Year's."
Right.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's a depressing day. Really, it feels very depressing. They play that song. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like all these saying. It's like. It's not even triumphant.
It's a jolly song. It is. It's a downer.
Depressing. Yeah, and like PJ, I gotta just I'm gonna just kind of ramble off a little bit a second because especially for the single folks out there or someone like you were I didn't really have to be honest. I mean, I dated girls, but I didn't have my first real girlfriend until I was like 26, believe it or not. So my whole teenage years and especially in your 20s, early 20s, you want someone. I just remember the amount of pressure. I was like, God, I hate being single, especially during the holidays, New Year's. It was a fucking nightmare. I just wanted to share this one. I don't know if this is self-deprecating. I don't know what to call it, but I just want to talk about my worst New Year's ever, bro. Is that okay, PJ?
Sure, go for it. I'm happy to hear it.
It was 2016 turned into 2017. Okay, so I'm not gonna get into all of it, but it was like the ending of 2016 was not good. I was dating this girl. We weren't like even boyfriend and girlfriend. I was just dating her for a short time, but she ended things. She wasn't ready to date. I was like heartbroken. I was very upset. My aunt passed away. She actually passed away in a fire. So it was like all these it was like in 2017 was a nightmare in terms of all these other things that just went wrong. So, but anyway, New Year's Eve I actually stayed home by myself. My brother went out. My parents went out. I was home by myself, and I watched. I love this artist, Prince. Right? I watched Purple Rain.
Okay.
And then I had it on DVD, and dude, I watched the last. I guess the climax of the film is when he plays actually Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Dude, I must have watched that song, like his performance, that part. I kept playing back on the DVD. I'll just say countless times from like 12 o'clock to maybe like 2 in the morning. I just kept, and I was like, not gonna lie, I was crying, all this stuff. I was like, the worst New Year's ever. All I can say is for the single people out there, keep the faith. I'm happily married now. Thank God I found the one. But all I can say is being single, especially if you're like having a hard time finding someone, and it is a tough time. That holiday I think it's worse than Valentine's Day if you're alone. Because Valentine's Day, to me, even if you are single, for me, it's not as bad as New Year's, because you can have fun on Valentine's. You can hang out with your friends, and I've done that. You go on a date with your friends. I've done it with my bros, whatever. It's a different kind of love. I feel like that you can celebrate all kinds of love. New Year's, no fucking way. It's single or buck. You gotta
right.
You gotta go. I just nightmarish day for me is New Year's. Mm-hmm.
I mean, my New Year's Eve celebration now it consists of staying home. We cook something. We make last year we made our own little tray of pigs in a blanket and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like to cook, so we make something a little bit nicer for ourselves, and we sit on the couch and we flip back and forth between Ryan Seacrest and Anderson Cooper. Right? I find the Anderson Cooper one is actually a little bit better than the Ryan Seacrest one.
I agree.
So I usually watch that one, but we flip back and forth. We'll check out a musical performance here and there. They really the same thing like we said about the parade for Thanksgiving Day parade. It's the same thing with these New Year's Eve celebrations. Where are they dragging these people out of? With I think last year Salt and Pepper had a performance.
Right.
But no one wants to see this. No one's asking for this. Like, we're gonna push it in 2023. What's happening? There's never a good act, or it's either there's never a good act, or it's just like Pitbull constantly.
Right.
And nobody wants that. So they're not fun to watch. Sometimes it's like, should we just put on a movie? Should we just sit at home, put on a movie, wait until, if I'm awake at 12 o'clock, it's a miracle anyway.
Right.
I'm texting people at like 9:45. I'm like, hey, Happy New Year. I'm going to sleep. You're not getting a text from me at midnight, buddy. So, I don't know. I guess that's the perk. One of the perks of being married for so long, and is you don't feel the need to celebrate this quite as much. You just do something small and low key together at home.
Well, PJ, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit, because I want to talk about how much I hate those Rocky New Year's Eve shows.
They're terrible.
They are awful. Now, let me step back for a second. I remember as a kid, I did enjoy. Maybe it was just a different world. Maybe there was no cell phones. I think that's a part of it. It was Dick Clark. I actually liked I liked him. He had that always like that headset on, and it felt like, I don't know. I felt like he was really he felt like a news reporter. He didn't feel like a host. He felt like he was like broadcasting something like almost like it was going to be the end of the world with that ball drop. Like, or they're going to celebrate, the world's going to end. Like, it felt like that kind of like, but he did such a good job, and it's just his vibe. And I know they still call the show in his honor, like Rockin' New Year's Eve, Dick Clark's with Ryan Seacrest. Yeah. But I can't stand Ryan Seacrest.
I was about to say that.
I can't stand this guy.
I hate him so much, I don't want to watch it.
Look, I don't know him personally, obviously, or anybody. I don't know why they give this guy every hosting job. I don't know. I want to say, get a life, bro. Do something else with your life. Like,
he might be a great guy in real life. I don't know. I just don't like him as a host. I can't. I don't find him.
He's on Regis and Kelly, whatever that show is. He does.
They're giving him
Dancing with the Stars, American Idol. Just get out of here. Like,
Pat Sajak is retiring. Ryan Seacrest is taking over Wheel.
Why exactly? Why?
What is he getting? Is there no one else?
Exactly. I'd rather just have a nobody. Get some nobody who's well spoken. Get an author. Get a crossword puzzle person.
Have Vanna do it. Have Vanna. Do
exactly.
It. You don't need someone to turn the letters. Just have Vanna White stand at the wheel. There's no reason to replace him with Ryan Seacrest. Nobody wants that.
Oh, I can't stand that. He's so fake. I don't want to just the whole bashing of Ryan Seacrest. I guess the other part of me, I'll admit this. I was a little jealous of him at one point, because he used to date. I think her name was Julianne Hough, who is she's like an actress. She's like Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
He dated her I'm like, how did this guy? I don't think he's an ugly man. I think he's handsome. I'll give him that. But I'm like, what is this girl seeing this guy?
Money.
Yeah, right. Well, exactly. Well, there you go. Hey, when you sit, for the short guys out there, when you stand on your money, you're 6 feet tall. Okay. Yeah. I think he's a pretty tall guy. But anyway. But but I don't get, PJ, like you said, with these New Year's Eve show, I think no one wants to work on it. If you're a celebrity, you don't really want to, you want to hang out with your family. They already live a crazy life. Like, give me this one day. So I think that's why they kind of bring out these old acts, because they'll take the money, they'll take the exposure, and everything. But in order, PJ, you watched it. I hate the ones where they cut to like we're in, like, for folks listening at home, we're based in New York, so I would get turned off when they show you L.A., but they're in a studio in L.A.
Yeah.
And they have these. It's like basically it seems like they couldn't get real people to be this. They hire this. They get the staff to give them drinks, and they're dancing in front of like Camila Cabello, or like a Sean Paul, like in this small studio dancing, wearing like these Planet Fitness hats, and it's just. They don't even have a full band, or if they're just miming it. They just have they might be singing live, but they're really singing to like a karaoke style.
Right.
I think they're just so boring, man.
You know what I hate? There's different time zones, so somebody's going to have the New Year before us.
Oh, and yeah.
To those people counting down, and I'm like, wait a minute. We didn't get to it. We're not there yet. We're not supposed to be counting. But now you're showing me some asshole in, like, I don't know, whatever country that they're in, counting down. I'm like, well, it's over.
Right.
We started 3 hours early. What is this? I always feel like that ruins it, like, even more. Like, the whole point, I'm forcing myself to stay awake to count down till midnight, and you just did it at 9 o'clock instead.
Yeah. You know what? PJ, I'm trying to two other things about the New Year's Eve thing, the shows is I don't know about you. I can't stand when they interview regular people on the side.
Oh, give a shit about those people.
I'm sure they're very nice, but I have no interest.
None.
Like, I don't care where you're from, who you are, who you, what. I don't care at all. And I hate
asshole. Is this your first time in Times Square for New Year's Eve? Yeah, I've always lived here. No one gives a shit about you. No one cares.
Dude, I also hate. I don't know. Like for someone like me who's very hopeless romantic, I know what it is. And like I said, my horrors of being single on New Year's Eve. But I can't stand when people propose on TV. I don't give a shit. I want to be like, don't you?
I hope she says no. I always hope they say. I hope she turns him down on live TV.
Dude, for me, I could be very outgoing. You know what I mean? No, I can do that. I could dance. I've been in bands. I can perform. But certain things I like private. I don't understand. I guess it's a side thing. I don't know. I wouldn't want a public like when I proposed to my wife. I did it very privately. I was on a beach with her. I was secluded, man. I don't know how people can do public things. Even if you've been dating the person for 20 years, I don't give a shit. Wouldn't you want that private? I don't understand a whole front of your. Maybe front of your. All right, maybe that, but I still don't. I don't know how people could do that.
Or like on the Titan, like a wrestling event.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you're at some sporting event, and they're like, "Look at the big screen," and then some asshole is proposing to their significant other.
Right.
While the home team's getting destroyed like 12-0. It's like, what is this? This is like. No one wants to watch this. I'm not clapping for you.
Right.
I'm booing you the same way I'm booing the goalie. That's what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Go from the screen.
Right. Even something about it though. I don't know. Maybe this is something cynical, like you said. You hope in a weird way. You hope they say no. But part of me just finds it very cringe. I don't know what it is.
No, it's because it's ridiculous and it's stupid. I hate it. No, I always hope they say no. I'm like, I hope they say no. I hope they say no.
Right, PJ. I know we're talking about New Year's. Just a quick side quest. What for me? I definitely have anxiety. I'm not diagnosed, but I do get anxiety. But one of the things that gives me hyper that skyrockets my anxiety. Something very cringe. Even if it could be a video, all of a sudden I get sweaty. So is there anything for you that makes your skin crawl? Like when my skin crawls, I really feel like I gotta run. I have like fight or flight. I book it.
Yeah.
So is there anything that makes your skin crawl?
Yeah, just like when you see awkward stuff happen around you, and if you're at a restaurant, let's say we're at a table, we're eating dinner, but then the table next to you is just in the biggest fight of their life, and you're just I gotta leave. I can't listen. I'm trying to here I am trying to eat my chicken parm, and the table next to me, they're 2 seconds away from a divorce.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's just so many things. I mean, I have the same problem with anxiety where it's all of a sudden it's just oh God, I can't take it today.
Yeah, for me, man, certain things that make me
waiting gives me the most anxiety.
Oh yeah.
I have zero patience.
Oh yeah.
If they're you go to a restaurant and it's you put your name on the list and they're all right, it'll be about a 15-20 minute wait. I'm immediately should we just leave?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
And I'm it's a 15-minute wait. Should we there's a million restaurants. Should we go and she's 15 minutes isn't that bad. I'm no, but what am I going to do for 15 minutes? I got to sit here in this, right. and the waiting area in a restaurant, by the way, is 2 seats and,
right.
and there's always a million people trying to sit down. You have a stranger sitting on your lap.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't belong to you. I'm sitting on your lap because there's nowhere else to sit. It's just terrible. And then you're waiting, and I get the anxiety because they call a name, right? And I'm waiting for them to be PJ, part of you too, but it doesn't happen. It's right. Just all these other people, and you're they weren't here before. They were here after me. How are they sitting for me? Because they put their name on the list ahead of time, and that gives me the most anxiety. I can't do waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, no, what really makes me uncomfortable too. It makes me I don't know if it's cringe. It makes me just grossed out. You're like you said, you're waiting for your a table and someone gets called and they go, oh, you can sit in our seat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get very grossed out.
In their seat.
Yeah, and it's warm. I just feel so grossed out. I'm just I feel like they farted in it. They're sweating. Their ass sweat is there. Their swamp ass. I just get so, and then like you said, overload, dude. I get sweaty, bro. You get this when you do self checkout, dude. I don't know what it is. I get put pressure on myself. Sometimes I don't even get fruit because I don't want to weigh it. I want to search it.
It's
Like,
too much
I
work.
remember one time I had like an item. It didn't have a barcode on it. I was something like a
I don't need it. I don't want this
I
anymore.
just left. I said I can't. I can't do it. I can't handle it.
Have you ever? I've gone into stores and something aggravates me so much in the store. Well, I just leave my cart and I'm like, you know what? I don't want any of this shit. I've gone through an entire store. I'm on the last aisle and it's just like it's getting backed up in the aisle. I'm starting to like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want any of these groceries. We won't eat this week, and I just leave.
Yeah. Oh my god. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have patience, and so the minute my patience is tested, I lose it real quick.
Yeah, and I'm trying to search it now. Oh, I think that's it. Is it? Hold on. Is it? I'm trying. There's a co-host. I think on Ryan Seacrest. I think that's her. Let me find her name. Is it?
Is it Jenny McCarthy?
No. It's like a. She's like a Latina. She's like what the heck's her name? She's like she got big on YouTube. What the hell is her name? She's I'm trying to search it right now. Sorry, folks. Maybe we'll edit this out. You've like with Ryan Seacrest. It's like a girl. What the hell's her name? No, God. She's like a YouTuber. Hold on. Sorry, folks at home. Oh my God, what's her name?
Rita Ora.
I don't think it's her. I think it's Liza Kosher.
I don't know who that is.
That's it. I found it.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, Liza Kosh. I think it's pronounced Kashi. Koshy. This girl is the definition of cringe, annoying. She's the ultimate nightmare, folks. Okay? I think she works with Ryan Seacrest. Does she work with Ryan Seacrest? I don't know. But this girl is, for me, I don't know what the appeal is. You know, like certain people, like what is it about her personality that makes her like likable? I'm not saying she's an evil person, okay? But dude, this girl, PJ, this year, watch her. She's like a co-host. She just interviews people on the street,
right.
You know, stuff we can't stand. This girl literally makes my skin crawl. I can't imagine working. You ever work with a person where they're nice, they mean well, but you just can't work with them? You do everything. I remember one time I had a job and like I went to my boss. I said, "Look, I can't work with this person." I says, "Look, I'll if I have to, I will. But there's any way we can't, because like not that we don't get along. I can get along with anybody, but this person drove me so crazy. I'm like I had to make a request. I'd never done that. I did that once my entire life. Just because, not even because we couldn't get. I had people who I didn't even like. We didn't like each other. I could work with them. I'd rather work with them than this person. This person drove me crazy. This person is like that girl Liza, man. Kashi, God bless her, has to work with her, man. I mean, I don't know. Excuse me, but she will make everything. She just makes my skin crawl. Her voice, her style of comedy, you know. I know she tries to do like more like a physical thing. I don't mind that. I don't care. I'm all about physical comedy, but she does it where it's so obnoxious, where it's like this 8th grade, 7th grade humor. I'm like, what adult? Maybe she does it. Maybe it's for kids. I don't know, but. And that's another thing, PJ. Who watches Rockin' New Year's Eve? Is it like it's almost like I mean, to cut you off. It's almost like late night television. It's almost like extinct. It's on its way out, you know.
But it just won't die off. The only people that watch
it's like a cockroach, yeah.
It's gonna be the only thing left when the world ends is the New Year's Eve special, Twinkies and cockroaches. It just won't stop. It's gotta be old people. I can't imagine it's anyone, but I can't sit through it. I hate it. There's just nothing enjoyable about watching these specials. I would prefer, I don't know, a year in review. Give me a recap of all the crazy shit that happened in the last 12 months.
Right.
World. And then count down real quick. Everyone gets a high five. Let's just continue our, go to sleep. I don't need the rockin' New Year's Eves and all and there's so many now. It used to just be Dick Clark.
Yeah.
And I remember then Dick Clark, like, what did he have, a stroke or something?
Yeah.
And then they dragged that guy back out Do you remember that?
Yes.
So, this poor guy, he must have been 90.
Right.
And he has a stroke. And they're like, all right, well, he can't host it anymore because he can't talk without, like, drooling, this poor schmuck. But no, they, like, Ryan Seacrest takes over for, like, a year or whatever. And then they're like, all right, well, Dick Clark's back. And I'm like, Dick Clark looks like the Crypt Keeper. You can't have him host. The poor guy is trying to, like, Eminui. He can't get the words out of his mouth. That was the worst. And they did this for years until he died. I'm like, they're Weekend at Bernieing this motherfucker to put him on TV. And then, like, what are they doing? Who wants to see this? Bring him with a corpse. What's happening?
That was bad. And they kept, like, diminishing his role. He went from, like, co-host to, like, he was just...
Yeah, he was counting.
Right. They had him just propped at one point. They just basically, like, had him, like, in a mannequin. Like, they had him, like, strapped to, like a pole to hold him up. Yeah, that was just... I mean, talk about cringe.
Like a puppet. Ryan Seacrest shoves his hand up his ass to make him talk.
Right. Or like a marionette. But Pete, like you said, like, you just pitched an idea. I just still can't believe... I'm saying I have the greatest idea of all, but I just feel like you do something very simple. Like you said, there's so many now. Like, I feel like YouTube should do this, where you go, we're going to have a camera that... Because I've been to house parties where they actually have New Year's playing, like, the show, but they have it on mute. They have music just blasting. Right. At the last 2 minutes, then you put
it on. You listen to the
So I think they should do that, where you have a camera, like a cameraman, where multiple, like, you just cut to different things. People walking around the city, the ball, crowd, and then you have, like, a host, like a DJ host, who just broadcasts the top 40 music for 2 hours, from, like, 11 to 1 in the morning. You hook it up with Spotify. You have them, sponsor it, and you play top 40. This way you can hook it up to your Bluetooth at your home or your home stereo. You have the TV on, you see different shit happen in New York City or whatever state you're from, and you have music blasting. And then they go, all right, guys, it's 2 minutes. You have, like, every, like, half hour, then every, like, then like, when it's, like, 15 minutes left, all right, everyone got ready, and then, like, last 2 minutes.
The last minute, they dig up Dick Clark one more time and make him
right, exactly.
Out, and then we're done.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's got to be something better than what they're doing now. I mean, and now there's so many of these. Like, you have Dick Clark with Ryan Seacrest. Then you have a Miley Cyrus one usually. I think last year they had, like, a Miley Cyrus one. She's impossible to watch without wanting to kill yourself. And then they have a Pitbull one. Then there's the Anderson Cooper one, which is, like I said, still the best of all of them. But there's so many of these shows popping up. Every station wants to get in on the counting till 10. And every one, it's like a competition to who can get the worst performers.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like you said, I was really surprised with Miley Cyrus, because I was like, I just like someone like her. Like, I'm not a big, I like her songs. She's a very talented singer. I just like, for her, she seems like almost like she's like a country girl. I feel like someone like her, she'd be like, I'm taking this day off. Let me just hang out with my family. So for her to have a show, I was shocked. I think she even had Paris Hilton on last year.
Yeah, she did. It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, God.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a competition for the worst performers. Can you imagine? All right. A TV network comes up to you. I don't know which one it's going to be. The CW network, whatever. Right. And they say, hey, put together the New Year's Eve special for our network. You have to get some musical acts. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. Is anywhere on your list? Does Paris Hilton land on that list anywhere?
I know.
Like,
I know.
I don't understand. Like, why?
You know what they should? I don't know. I'm sure maybe they've done this in the past, but, like, why don't they try doing something else where it's like maybe around like 11 o'clock, you give a comedian 15 minutes, like you get like a Jim Brewer, a Dave Chappelle. And you got them via Skype, and you just have them ramble off like we just did. We're not comedians, but you get someone who's funny. We talk about your review, and you have like imagine like Norm Macdonald if you did like Weekend Update, but it was like
something like that.
Yeah, like I think that'd be a huge thing, Or right after the ball drops, you have that kind of segment,
Get like Jon Stewart or something. Do like
exactly. I just I feel like they could spend their money so much more wisely. You can even have a pre-recorded. Fuck it, who cares?
There's got to be a better option than Paris fucking Hilton, right? There's got to be.
Hmm.
It
But
really is not my favorite holiday. I don't find much enjoyable about it. My favorite part of holidays is always like the food and the eating. There's none of that on New Year's Eve. There's no quiet time. It's just a bad experience.
And PJ, yes, it's a good segue because for me, look, is one thing I love. Is one thing I love house parties. I love house parties. I do. But for some reason, when it comes with New Year's Eve and the amount of pressure that I put on myself that's totally unrealistic, unnecessary, is I had to go to a party. If I do go, when I was not so much now, a little bit, I still get this, but there's nothing worse, PJ. Now look, I'm trying to be grateful here. I'm grateful to be invited or expressing the gratitude, but there's nothing more dreadful than being at an awful New Year's Eve party, man. Oh, where it's boring because, like I said, you have the pressure where it's like you have like whatever it is, you want, whether you're single or not, whatever it is, it's like that. You have that. Then it's like, okay, I always say the key to a good party is the people, entertainment, and the food. Like oh my God, it's like usually it's like some kind of like hors d'oeuvres. Sometimes they can be hit or miss. So for me, house parties could be, like I just said, hit or miss. And when they're a miss, I feel like when they're like, because I've been to house parties like whatever. It could be in the middle of March. It could be a sausage fest. It's fine. But on New Year's Eve that happens, it's a totally different. It's a nightmare, man. It's like your nightmares just come to it's awful. That comes with the pressure, like I said. But man, there's nothing more dreadful than that for me. Oof.
And if you're gonna have a house party, put some fucking food out, man. Like we're not. It's one thing if you're in like a setting like you said, like one of these wedding halls, and maybe that it's just hors d'oeuvres being passed around.
Right.
But if I'm going to someone's house, there better be a fucking sandwich. I don't know. There's got to be
You're like a hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there better be some chicken cutlets flying around. I don't know. There's got to be something. There's got to.
Right. Mm-hmm. I always get nervous too. I don't know what this is, but I always get nervous eating like a pizza on New Year's, because the Pizza Hut, a place besides Pizza Hut, like your whatever local, they're gonna be closed by 10, at least by 10. And that pizza's been sitting around. I don't like eating it, man. I always get fucking someone's out.
The last thing you want to do, like now I got to shit in this person's house.
Yeah. Yes. That's the other part that happens because you start eating all these crazy foods and like. Thing it's like the last thing you feel like doing is take a crap at someone's house. Exactly. The ball's gotta drop, your pants are gonna drop. Like your ass is about to drop something. You know what I mean? It's just like a nightmare. Mm-hmm. But PJ, my last thing I want to talk to you about is I don't know about for you, but I'm fortunate now where in my career that I typically have New Year's Day. I'm sorry, off.
Right.
And but I remember, man, when I was when we were kids, you have Christmas vacation, Christmas break. But when you get, graduate high school, blah blah blah, dude, how bad? Did you ever work on New Year's Day?
I have worked on New Year's Day. It's terrible. Working on any holiday is terrible.
Yeah.
For the longest time, this was years, I worked an overnight shift.
Oof.
And so the way it would always fall is I'd wind up working the overnight shift on New Year's Day, which means I'm going in midnight New Year's Eve. As the ball's dropping and you're waiting, I'm walking into my job.
Clocking in.
Right. So I'm missing, which is, you're missing the New Year's Eve, and then you're working New Year's Day overnight, and then you get home and all you want to do is sleep. It's just like you miss every holiday.
Yeah. I remember just working in retail, and sometimes I should sometimes I actually wouldn't mind working because it's usually dead quiet. So that was actually get like free money. Right. But I always, folks who are listening, maybe new listeners, I'm always going to talk about BJ's Wholesale Club. I worked there for 10 years. So I remember one time I had work at like 6 or 7 in the morning. And I remember like going in with my clubbing clothes, basically. I basically just rolled out of bed with my same shit on and I went to work. But yeah, I think going on, like you said, working on any kind of holiday sucks, But New Year's, especially New Year's, I feel like you should always have an extended opening. So I remember BJ started opening at like 10. I was like, thank God, give us some grace for this day. So instead of like 7 or 8, so it was just dead quiet. But PJ, PJ, I'm just kind of curious. I have a little tradition I always do, and you're gonna get mad at me. You're gonna find out shortly. But I always listen. Do you do anything on New Year's Day? Like, do you listen to a certain song, or watch a movie, or have a drink, like a hot cocoa or something like that?
New Year's Day. Usually, I stay home. Usually, I think. But we usually have like my sister comes over, my brother, and we do like a white elephant with our, with the
okay, cool.
That, and we have something to eat usually, and it's kind of low key.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't do anything special. But the one thing I do I've been doing it for years now. I listen to two specific songs. I think you're gonna like one. I think you're gonna hate the other one. So I started a couple of years ago. This one song. The other one I've been doing for like about over a decade. The other one, I'll say over 5 years now, maybe more. I listened to "That's Life" by Frank Sinatra on New Year's Day at some point. I find it, I don't know, a good way to kind of start the year. And then I also play. I listen to U2's. Yeah, it's New Year's Day. I love that song. So I listen to those two songs on New Year's Day. So
what a terrible way to start off a year.
I know. I figured you got a kick out of that, but yeah, that's my thing. So, but yeah, PJ, is there anything else you want that you think about New Year's? Why it sucks?
No, I mean, I think we've covered it. I mean, it's
covered it all
about it.
Mm-hmm.
We've done things over the years. We've gone to bowling alleys who do like the rock and bowl, and then they do the countdown, and that was all right for a time. And I've gone to the bars, I've gone to the clubs, I've gone to the wedding venues when they do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just generally speaking, I have never found something on New Year's Eve that I find to be the most fun or engaging. I would just always rather stay home.
Right. Yep. I hear you, man. As I get older, I think it's really more about being with family and doing something fun, with your friends and everything. So the folks at home, PJ and I, just don't put pressure on yourself. It's any other night. Honestly, it's just any other night. And just if it's a bust, that's okay. You have 364 days to make that up. So. It's not that your New Year's Eve isn't a make or break for you.
They say when the clock is about to strike 12, if you stay real quiet, you might just hear the stroked out ghost of Dick Clark counting to.
Right. Oh my God. Which is a perfect segue because folks listening, PJ and I, we haven't been doing this for a year yet. But we just kind of want to do a quick wrap up of the new year. And PJ, I got to say, it's been a pleasure doing this podcast with you, man.
That's been great.
And it's so many, you opened your store this year. I got married this year. And we've had, and for the folks who are listening, and we really appreciate you guys because we always see a dedicated, we at least get about 40 to 50, downloads anyway on Podbean where we can, kind of measure it. So we want to thank those who kind of always come every week and listen, and we really appreciate it. And all we could say is, for this upcoming year, the show is going to get bigger and better, folks. Same basically format, but we're going to upgrade our audios. We're going to get more visuals in there. We are going to have more guests. We actually have one booked for next month in January. We're excited. He's an author, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, we really are gonna ramp it up production wise and everything else.
Yeah, it's I think we have some big things coming for 2024. We started this is what, by the time this comes out, this will be like our 38th, 39th, 40th episode, somewhere around there, I think. Yep. And I feel like over the last several months of doing this, we see the numbers get bigger each and every week. We get more downloads each and every week. So that's always awesome. And we see it expands to other countries and stuff like that. I think in the very beginning, we were seeing folks from like Ireland and stuff tuning in, and we still see that. And it's really awesome. So we do, like Mike said, we thank all the listeners and family and friends who listen all the time. That's always a big plus for us. But we do have big things coming, big ideas. We want to try and get more situated in the store where we can record, and I just think we're going to have a big 2024, and we want to try and do some different unique things, more games, get more people involved. So I think we have a lot of room for growth, and you're going to see it next year.
Yeah, and for the folks who are listening, you know, tell your friends about us. Like I know it's almost kind of like, and hear me out, folks. It's almost like original music. If you're like a local band, trying to get someone to listen to your original music is very difficult. It's a hard sell. So I get it. We're not the Joe Rogans or the Bill Burrs of podcasts, but like Peter said, their numbers are growing, and the best way we can get out there, is basically the best is word of mouth. So if you have a favorite episode and you want to show your buddy at work or your friend or whatever, tell them to listen to that episode or go to our Instagram, or we have TikTok now, and check out one of our reels. Maybe that we can intrigue them with that, but really share them with us. One of your favorite episodes, even like like a timestamp. I know we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna upgrade a lot of our systems here, but yeah, that'd be really great for us because I'm sure everyone who listens to different YouTube channels or podcasts. It is true, guys. Especially if you want to get bigger, you want to make a side hustle out of this. It's like if you want the content to get better, you need those numbers.
Yep.
So we're not begging for views or sharings, but like just help us out and we'll give you a better product. You know what I mean? It really kind of goes hand in hand.
And then one year, maybe what we'll wind up doing is our own New Year's Eve
yes,
live countdown special.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who knows?
And we'll book way better musical acts than Paris Hilton.
Right. right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of wonderful stuff, and really thank you guys. And we hope because this is going to air probably before New Year's Eve, and for real, folks, and all the kids out there who are listening, have a great New Year. New Year, new me. It's like I said, it's any other night, but really, hope your 2024 is really great. And yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it all. It's been a great year, and hopefully, for our podcast, it's been a great year for the store. You got married, been a great year, so hopefully 2024 is even better.
Yep. All right. Well, kids, thanks for listening. You know the deal. Same time, same table.
See you next year.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. Please visit PJ and Mike's website, coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com for more information. Follow the boys on all social media apps. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.